finding yourself tossing from side to side and can't get comfortable on either side with your sciatica? That is coming up next. It's common that it's difficult to sleep at night with sciatica. It's common that it's difficult to sleep at night with sciatica because of the way that our bodies land in bed, and the kind of support that we might be using might not be quite enough support. So the thing is, trigger points, again, in the hip muscles are perhaps causing you to wake up at night for two reasons. When we have trigger points or focal points of tension in our muscles, and especially the hip muscles, which create aching that is very similar or exactly like sciatica, and muscles in the low back, quadratus lumborum in the low back, that also create sciatica symptoms. If you're a side sleeper, and it feels so good, right, to curl up on your side because it's just like a sweet kind of protected position to be in. It's very soothing to the nervous system to sleep on our sides. That's why so many of us love to sleep on our sides. The problem is that if you have trigger points in your glutes on the sides of the hip, and you're laying on, let's say you have sciatica symptoms on your right side. When you lay on the right side, you're putting pressure right on those trigger points. When you put pressure on the trigger points, it could aggravate them or activate them to send that pain referral out. So they're not going to like it. They're not going to like those trigger points are going to get aggravated with your body weight on them for a long period of time. So then the aching will start, and then you wake up and and then you roll to the left side. But here's the problem. Trigger points, muscles with trigger points in them don't like to be pulled long either. So if you lay on your side and your knees are together, you have maybe a little pillow in between your legs. If that pillow isn't big enough, or that's not high enough or wide enough apart, it's going to pull. As soon as that right knee comes down toward the left, it pulls those hip muscles and the low back, and the trigger points go, you're pulling on me. I don't like that. Get up. So I'm going to show you a demonstration of how you can set yourself up well so that you're not tossing and turning, and neither side is comfortable. I get it. And how to support your body well. You'll need a really thick bolster, or at least not squishy, soft pillows to support the top leg. And you can get comfortable. You can get comfortable, and this work is going to help you. Now, getting rid of your trigger points is the other way to stop having this problem, right? If you are mindfully following the practices that I'm teaching and releasing all the muscles in the tensional system and being aware of your posture and all the other things, that's going to help as well, because then you're not going to have trigger points to compress in the first place. They're not going to have to wake you up because they're not so activated. So doing the homework, taking care of your body, doing the self-trigger point release, and then in the meantime, following this next information, setting yourself up well is going to allow you to finally sleep through the night so you can get some rest and your body can heal. I'll see you next video.
A question I often get asked by people with sciatica, hip pain, back pain is, how can I sleep at night without pain? And I get it. Because when I had sciatica, it was tossing and turning all night long until I figured this part out. So you'll want to get a yoga bolster, a nice, good, thick yoga bolster. This one is on Target.com for about 25 bucks. Super cheap and affordable, and it's thick and sturdy. You don't want pillows that are going to give and collapse. You need something that really is going to hold up your leg. A pillow between the knees isn't going to do it, because as soon as you're lying on your side and you're laying, here's your hip with your issue, and your knee drops below the height of your hip, you're pulling all of that tissue. The low back over here is being pulled, this is all being pulled, and it excites those trigger points and wakes you up with pain. So when you can support the knee so that it's as high as the hip, so it's not between my legs, although you could do that if you need more support, but it's a little bit wobbly. But you could figure it out, right? And that would even give more relief. I like to sleep with it like this. Now it's steady and solid. The knee is about the height of the hip, and it takes that pressure out of the hip. You could stack now a blanket or something if you need it higher, if you have wider hips and you need it to be a little bit higher. But you need something sturdy, like a yoga bolster and not a pillow. The other thing is that you might want to have a little round pillow or a rolled up towel, and you could put that underneath the side of your waist where your quadratus lumborum is, because again, as you're laying on your side, as your QL is kind of opening on that side and stretching as the spine is kind of trying to reach down onto the floor or onto the bed. So you'd want to tuck that pillow under the QL, under the side of your waist, between the pelvis and the low ribs, so soft side of the waist. Got my little support here, and over here, I have my knee supported up around the height of my hips. And now I can rest.